राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotee Dhanat Pranams. Thank you very much for joining in for our Srimad Bhagavatam study session today. Let's start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. नमो पङ्कजनाभाय नमो पङ्कजमालिने नमो पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये. पाहि पाहि महायोगीन् देवदेव जगत्पते नान्यं त्वादभयं पश्ये यत्र मृत्यु परस्परं. कृष्ण कृष्ण महाबाहो भक्तानामभयङ्करा त्वमेको धैर्यमानानाम् अपवर्गोऽसि संश्रुतेः. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान् वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरदुषे नमः. पंचतत्वात्मकं भक्तरूपं अवतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्तुस्ते. तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरून् दीनतारिणं. परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं. हरिः ओं तत्सत्. गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तडालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Aradhya Bhagavan Rajeshatanya Saddhama Vrindavanam. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadu Vargena Vakalpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabho Matamidam Tatra Dharana Para. आई दीन दयाद्रनाथ है मथुरानाथ कदा अवलोक्य से हृदयं त्वदलोककातरं दैत्य भ्राम्यति किं करोम्यहम्. Hare Krishna. So thank you devotees for staying with us for the Srimad Bhagavatam study session. So we are continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 2 from text number 30. So yesterday we were saying how the Lord is the creator, right, of this entire material world. The law, the dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. The Lord has given the laws of the material nature. However, the laws of the material nature are not applicable to the Lord, right? And Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example here, how he talks about, the Prime Minister, right? Narendra Modi may come to visit a prison in Mumbai, right? He was here for the Kargar temple inauguration. So after that, he may plan to visit a prison house in Mumbai, right? When he is going to the prison house, he is not going in the prison, the prison inmates' clothes, nor is he bound by the rules of the prison. At 1 o'clock we will have lunch. Until then you have to break the stones, right? All those activities are prescribed for the jail inmates, right? When Narendra Modi visits the prison, what will he do? He will wear his normal attire. He will go. He will look at the people in the prison. Then he will see, how the management is going on. Are they adhering to the rules and regulations that have been drafted? In this way, Narendra Modi will visit the prison and he will, he can come out at any time. He will go in at his own pace. In fact, when he goes, the entire, the other routes are also kept blocked so that the Prime Minister is not east, right? Because the Prime Minister is the head of the country, right? If that is a privilege that is given to the head of the country, that he is not bound by the laws of the prison, right? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he takes avatar, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are Brahmande, Brahmite Kona, right? There's so many millions and millions of universes that are headed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when he appears in this material world, he is not bound by the three modes of material nature. He is not bound by the laws of the material nature, right? In fact, he defines the laws of the material nature, right? So Prabhupada gives a beautiful example in the purport of 1.3.29. So on that note, let's quickly move ahead. 1.2.30. Let me share my screen. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, Sridhar Prabhu, please go ahead. 1.2.30.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Bhagavan Atmamaya Sadasad Chasau Gunamayo Gunu Vibhu. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Sa eva itham sasajagro Bhagavan Atmamaya Sat Asat Rupaya Chasau Gunamaya Guno Vibhu. Sinanamas Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. Sa, that eva, certainly, idam, this sasaja, created, agree before Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Atma Mayaya, by his personal potency, Sat, the cause, Asat, the effort, Rupaya, by form, Cha, and Asuyu, the same Lord, Gunamaya, in the mode of material nature, Agua, transcendental, Vibhua, the absolute. Translation by Prabhupada. In the beginning of the material creation, that absolute personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, in his transcendental position, created the energies of cause and effort by his own internal energy. Purport. The position of Lord is always transcendental because the casual and ephemeral energies required for the creation. Creation of material world.
You drink some water. We'll ask Shobha Mataji, you like to read? Prabhu, you can read later, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay, all right, Mataji. The position of Lord is...
Prabhu, it's okay. You just drink some water, Prabhu, and you can read later. Yes. Shobha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji and Prabhuji's purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The position of the Lord is always transcendental because the causal and effect,
Causal.
causal and effectual energies required for the creation of the material world were also created by him. He is unaffected, therefore, by the qualities of the material modes. His existence, forms, activities, and paraphernalias all existed before the material creation. He is all spiritual and has nothing to do with the quality of the material world, and which are qualitatively distinct from the spiritual qualities of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. So,
Haribol.
ahammeva agre na anyad yad sat satparam paschadaham yadetacha yovasishyeta sosmyaham. So, in Bhagavatam Chatur Shloki, it comes that aham evasam evagre na anyad yad asathat param. That means I was only existing before the material creation. I am only existing after the annihilation, and I am only maintaining this entire world, right? So, in this way, aham evasam evagre na anyad yad satasat param. Nobody else other than me is existing before creation, and nobody else other than me is existing after annihilation. Right? Na anyad yad satasapram tasmadaham yadetacha yo avasishyeta so asmyaham. So because I am creating, I am maintaining, and I am annihilating. Right? I am doing it through my agents. Right? So Brahma was created from the navel of Lord Vishnu, and in this way Brahma was in charge of sub-creation or secondary creation. And Lord Vishnu himself is the maintainer, right? Krishna himself in the form of Vishnu maintains this material world. And then as Lord Shiva, right, he is given the authority or the administrative capacity or the administrative power to Lord Shiva to annihilate universe, right? And when the Lord Shiva does the Tandava Nritya, then what happens? The universe is annihilated, right? So aham eva sameva agre, right? Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, aham sarvasya prabhavo matah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha samanvitaha. Aham sarvasya prabhu. I am the source of the material and the spiritual worlds. Right? Matha sarvam pravartate. Everything emanates from me. I am the source. Right? Iti matva bhajante mam buddha samanvitaha. So who are devotees? Devotees are those who understand that the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is a creator, He is the maintainer, and He is the annihilator of everything that exists. And then what does a devotee do? Then what does he do? Machitta madgata pranabodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. That's what we are all doing. What are we doing right now? We are doing that. Machitta madgata prana. We are talking about Krishna. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam verses. We are glorifying Krishna. Bodhayanta parasparam. We are enlightening each other about Krishna. Kathayantas chamam nityam. We are reading the various pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Tushyanti means we are getting enlightened. Ramanti cha means we are also getting enjoyment. Isn't it? This is the right kind of enjoyment. When we hear about Krishna, when we desire to enjoy the glory of the Lord. Oh, my Lord is so great. I am the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is real ego. Oh, I am the controller. I am the owner. I am the CEO. I am the controller. I am the enjoyer. I am the owner. That is false ego. But if we understand, right? We not just think, because it's not about thinking. It is about understanding the tattva. What is the tattva? Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. When we understand that I am the servant of the most powerful Lord, who can create everything, who is annihilating everything, who is maintaining everything, right? In that, if we have a pride, I am the servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am dovetailing all of my thoughts, words, and deeds in the service of the Lord. That is real ego. If you're situated in the real ego, then what happens? We are automatically progressing. And what will we do? What are the symptoms of a person who's progressing in Krishna consciousness? Machitta madgata prana. Exactly what we are doing. We want to progress in Krishna consciousness. We want to hear about Krishna. How do we start the process? By hearing about Krishna, by talking about Krishna, by studying the Srimad Bhagavatam verses. So by doing it as a part of sadhaka, we automatically will get raga anuga. We'll automatically get a taste in following the acharyas, in reading the scriptures such as Srimad Bhagavatam, such as Bhagavad Gita, such as Chaitanya Charitamrita, like that. Okay, Shobha Mataji, continue. Text number 31.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Text number 31. Taya vilasiteshva eshu guneshu gunavaniva ananta pravishta abhati Vijnanena vrajambitaha. Synonym translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms: Thaya by them, Vilasiteshu, although in the function, Yesu these, Guneshu, the modes of material nature, Gunavan, affected by the modes, Iva, as if Ananta, within, Pravishtaha, entered into, Abhati, appears to be, Vijnanena, by transcendental consciousness, Vijrumbitha, fully enlightened. Translation: After creating the material substance, the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it. And although he is within the material modes of nature and appears to be one of the created beings, he is always fully enlightened in his transcendental position. Purport: The living entities are separated parts and parcels of the Lord, and the conditional living entities who are unfit for the spiritual kingdom or striven within the material world to enjoy matter to the fullest extent. As Paramatma and eternal friend of the living entities, the Lord, by one of his plenary portion, accompanies the living entities to guide them in their material enjoyment and to become witness to all activities. While the living entities enjoy the material conditions, the Lord maintains his transcendental position without being affected by the material atmosphere. In the Vedic literature Shruti, it is said that there are two birds in one tree. One of them is eating the fruit of the tree while the other is witnessing the actions. The witness is the Lord and the fruit eater is the living entity. The fruit eater, living entity, has forgotten his real identity and is overwhelmed in the fruitive activities of the material conditions. But the Lord, Paramatma, is always full in transcendental knowledge. That is the difference between the super soul and the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul, the living entity, is controlled by the law of nature, while the Paramatma or the super soul is the controller of the material energy. Haribol, thank you, Mataji. Thandavats.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, Upadrashta, Anumantacha, Bharta, Bhukta, Maheshwaraha. Right? Upadrashta, Anumanta. Upadrashta means the Lord is situated in our heart as a witness. Right? Prabhupada gives the analogy of two birds in Bhagavad Gita. One bird is very, very busy, wanting to eat all the fruits like that. It represents a jiva. What are we trying to do? We want to work, we want to enjoy ourselves, we want to get more money, we want to get the latest mobile phone, we want to get the latest Mercedes car, what not. We want to become the CEO of the organization, we want to grow up in our career, right? All of these things. What are we doing for that? We are working 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, 24 hours, right? We are willing to work in order to get our desires fulfilled, to get the latest mobile, to get the latest car. But you don't realize that those things will be taken away. Time, right? Mrityu sarva haras chaham. Krishna says, I am death, right? And death comes in the form of time, right? When the time elapses at the right time, what happens? When death comes, everything is taken away from us, isn't it? So, mrityu sarva haras chaham. Sarva hara means everything will be taken away. So, what does an intelligent person strive to do? An intelligent person will strive for those things that will never be taken away, right? And when in such an endeavor, when one performs actions, that means it's not that I don't work. I work for 8 to 10 hours, whatever is necessary for my work, but I ensure that my swadharma does not impede my performance of Sanatana Dharma. I work for 8 hours, say 11 to 9 or 9 to 6 or whatever may be our work timings. We work in such a way that we complete our work, we come back home, we sleep by 9, 9:30, 10. We wake up at 4 o'clock, we do our Brahma Murta chanting, we do our Mangala Arati. Right? If that is facilitated by our Swadharma, then we can earn a lot of money. Right? If somebody works 8 hours and can earn, 50 lakhs or 1 crore or whatever may be, and is getting a car and is getting a wonderful mobile phone, etc., we are not against it. Prabhupada was not against it. Prabhupada said, earn with integrity and spend with compassion. Right? So we earn, but we utilize everything in the service of the Lord. Right? Whatever is the money that we get, we utilize that also in the service of the Lord. We utilize the car to get sannyasis from the airport to the temple. We utilize the car to go to the temple. Then we utilize the mobile phone to attend classes like this, spiritual classes, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, right? To organize programs, we utilize the mobile, to discuss amongst the devotees. So like that, we utilize everything in the service of the Lord. So we are not Falgu Vairagis. We don't say, oh, no Mercedes car, no car, I will only walk. Right? We are not Falgu Vairagis. We are Yukta Vairagis. Right? What is Anashaktasya Vishayan Yadaram Upiyunjataha Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. I'm not attached to the mobile phone. I'm not attached to the laptop. I'm not attached to the speaker. I'm not attached to the mobile phone. Only if this mobile phone is there, this laptop is there, this speaker is there, only then I will study Srimad Bhagavatam. If we don't have a mobile, I will not study Srimad Bhagavatam. Is that, I mean, then when what is it? I'm attached to the mobile. The mobile is not there, then I will not read Bhagavatam. I'm attached to the mobile. I'm not attached to Bhagavatam. Right? But whereas a devotee, what he will do? Anasaktya Vishaya. If the mobile is not there, I will take the book. If the book is not there, I will go to Veda base. Right? If the mobile is not there, then I will use a computer. I will use my husband's mobile. Whatever may be. Right? Or I will go to the temple and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 108 ways by which I can listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not dependent on the availability of my mobile or my laptop or my personal book. Right? There are so many ways I can hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So, if I'm attached to studying of Srimad Bhagavatam and I am not attached to the peripheries that are required, right? If I'm not attached to the objects that actually help me in the study of Srimad Bhagavatam, then I'm not dependent on the objects, right? Tomorrow this object is taken away, my faith or my determination or my perseverance to study Srimad Bhagavatam is not affected. Isn't it? It is not affected by the presence or the absence of the mobile or the laptop or the other objects that I have, right? Currently, I have the objects. I utilize those objects in the service of Srimad, in the service of the Lord, in the service of Guru and Gauranga, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, by posting messages in the WhatsApp groups. If those things are not there, what we will do, we'll just pick up a book and read. Isn't it? So, anashaktasya vishayan yatharham upayunjatah. Upayog. Like in Hindi, there is a word, upayog karna. Right? Everything we utilize in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. Right? I'm not attached to the mobile, but I'm using the mobile because it helps me connect to all of you to spread Krishna consciousness or to speak about Krishna or to do this Matchittamat Katha Prana. Right? So, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. So, you don't say no to anything. We go for book distribution, we collect Shastradan, everything what we will do, we will utilize it in the service of the Lord. We'll meet demand and supply, right? Those who have money, we'll utilize that to give to the Srimad Bhagavatam into those places where they cannot afford a Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Whether it is prison houses or it is Anath Ashram or it is old age home or wherever there is a need, right? The ISKCON, right? They will distribute the books to where there is a need, right? So I'm not attached to anything, but I will utilize everything in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because who has given me everything? Who has given me this eyes, ears, nose, mouth, legs, the car, the mobile, the speaker, the laptop? Who has given me all this? Krishna has given me all this, right? Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kam Manobuddhi Revacha, right? Everything, my intelligence, my mind, right? The ego, right? Of understanding that intelligence is given to me by the Lord. But I have the free will. How I utilize these things, how I utilize my body, how I utilize my speaker or the mobile phone or the laptop or the car or the mobile is in my hands, right? But what does a Yukta Vairagya do? What does a devotee do? Right? Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. He will utilize everything in service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? When a person does that, then what happens? Krishna, who is situated as Paramatma in the heart. Right? What is that verse? Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha. Upadrashta Anumanta Cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. Krishna, who is situated in the heart, is the witness. Right? Krishna does not tell, okay, Medhavini, you have to use the mobile only for Srimad Bhagavatam classes. Don't use to do gossip, with somebody. Right? Because I have the free will. If I utilize it in the service of the Lord, Krishna is pleased. If I don't utilize it in the service of the Lord, Krishna is just witnessing, okay, Medhavini is wasting her time. Let me just see how long she is going on with these nonsensical activities. So like that, Krishna is just serving. Krishna is just being a witness. Upadrashta, Anumanta cha. Anumanta means Krishna is a permitter. Right? For example, if I have accumulated so much of pious activities, karma, that I can afford a mobile, then I am having the mobile. Then if I utilize the mobile in service of the Lord, Krishna is pleased. I am utilizing it in talking to somebody in all the nonsensical Gramya Katha. Then what happens? Krishna is not pleased. But in either case, Krishna is not interfering with my free will. Krishna has given me the Shastras. Krishna has given me Srila Prabhupada. Krishna has given me ISKCON. Now it is my will and my free will whether I want to utilize my time in studying Srimad Bhagavatam, in discussing with the devotees on Krishna Katha, or whether I waste my time in doing Gramya Katha. Right? The mobile is the same. Whether I'm utilizing it in service of Krishna or I'm utilizing it for Gramya Katha or wasting my time in nonsensical talk, is absolutely up to me. So what is Krishna doing? Krishna is simply remaining in my heart as Paramatma, as Upadrashta Anumantacha, as the witness and as the permitter. Right? Okay, you do what you like. Right? You have this, you have the karmic credit. Okay, you have the mobile. Okay, you use as you will. But am I having the full independence? How I am utilizing the mobile phone now will determine my future destination. Right? The karma um, versus destiny. Right? I have created my current destiny basis my past desires and activities. So like that, how I utilize my free will now will determine what will be my future destiny. Right? My current karma will determine my future destiny. My past karmas, my past desires have determined my current destiny. So I should be very careful how I utilize my free will. If I waste my human form of life and utilize my time in doing activities that even a dog or a cat or a pashubir naranam, right? If I what do you call ahar nidra vayamaitunam cha samanya make pashubir naranam dharmo eko adhiko vishesho dharme nihinam pashubir samanam. If I don't do inquiry into the absolute truth and live my life like an animal, then I am creating my future destiny. I am creating my future destiny to become a dog, right? I am creating my future destiny to become an animal, right? And that time I will not even have the free will, right? Because a dog is conditioned to act in a certain way. A dog does not have the intelligence to inquire, oh, why am I got the body of a dog? Right? What does the dog think? The dog happily drinks whatever the milk or whatever is given by the owner. The dog wags his tail, looks out of the house. That's it. But when we have this got this human form of life, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to inquire, why have I got this body? Why am I suffering in this world? Why is there death? What is death? What happens after death? If we don't inquire about all of that, I'm preparing to become a dog, right? So Prabhupada tells in a lecture, very, very wonderful lecture. Prabhupada says, service we have to do, right? Because Jiveru Surupe Krishna Nitya Das. We are Das. That is our constitutional position. Our constitutional position is servant. If we serve God, we will go back home, back to Godhead and enjoy with Krishna and loving devotional service to Krishna. But if we don't do that, if we serve dog, then what we will do? We will also become a dog next time, right? And then we will continue our life like a dog and evolve until we get the next human form of life, right? Having got this human form of life, we should not waste this one lifetime, like Prabhupada told Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, this one life you give to Krishna, right? We have spent so many lifetimes uselessly trying all sorts of material enjoyment, and we've gone from Jaladana Lakshani, Stavara Lakshvimshati, Kramiyo Rudra Sankhya Pakshinam Dashalakshanam, Trimshal Lakshani Pasava Chatur Lakshani Manushaha. Right? We've gone through 8.8 million species. Now finally we've come to the 4 lakh human species. Let us utilize this to serve Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. All right, 32. Hema Mataji. Okay, I'll read text number 32. यथा हि अवहितो वनिर्धारुष्येक स्वयोनिषु नामेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान्. Synonyms by Srila Prabhupada. Yata, as much as, he, exactly like, avahitaha, surcharged with, vanihi, fire, dharushu, in wood, ekaha, one, swayonishu, the source of manifestation, nana iva, like different entities, bhati, illuminates, Vishwa Atma, the Lord as Paramatma, Bhuteshu, in the living entities, Cha, and Tatha, in the same way, Puman, the absolute person. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hema Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, translation. The Lord as a super soul pervades all things just as fire permits wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one without a second. Purport. Lord Vasudeva, the supreme personality of Godhead, appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one as far as can be perceived. Even within the atomic energy, matter, antimatter, proton, neutron, etc., are all different effects of the Paramatma feature of the Lord. As the form from wood, fire can be manifested, or as butter can be churned out of milk, so also the presence of the Lord as Paramatma can be felt by the process of ligament, hearing, and chanting of the transcendental subjects, which are especially treated in the Vedic literatures like the Upanishads and Vedanta. Srimad Bhagavatam is the bona fide explanation of these Vedic literatures. The Lord can be realized through the oral reception of the transcendental message, and that is the only way to experience the transcendental subject. As fire is kindled from wood, and by another fire, the divine consciousness consciousness of man can similarly be kindled by another divine grace. His divine grace, the spiritual master, can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood fire living entity by imparting proper spiritual messages injected through the receptive ear. Therefore, one is required to approach the proper spiritual master with respective years only, and thus divine existence is gradually realized. The difference between animality and humanity lies in the process. Only a human being can hear properly, whereas the animal cannot. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavan Pranam.
Thank you, Hema Mataji. So, exactly the point that we were discussing, right? As an animal, there is no intelligence to inquire on spiritual subject matters. As human being, having got the fortune of being in one of the 4,000,000, 8,400,000, so 400,000 species of human life, right? We have the opportunity to understand transcendental subject matters. And Krishna tells in 4.34 of Bhagavad Gita, how do we understand transcendental subject matters? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So Krishna says you have to approach a bona fide spiritual master and hear from such a bona fide spiritual master. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Pariprashnena. That means we should not ask, when will I get my 4 BHK home? When will I get my next mobile? That's not the question that we need to ask. We need to ask relevant questions. We need to question about why am I suffering in this world? What is the purpose of this human body? Right? Where will I go after a death? Right? These are the questions that we need to ask a spiritual master. And when we ask those spiritual subject matters, questions relating to the spiritual subject matters, Krishna is also saying there is a very important ingredient along with the inquiry that we need to do. And what is that? Pariprashnena sevaya. Sevaya is very, very important. If we don't do service, then the kind of questions that we may ask may be challenging. Right? So we are challenging the spiritual master to give us knowledge, right? Any challenging questions, right? Somebody asked Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, can God create a stone that he cannot lift? Very challenging question, right? And then Chaitanya Charan Prabhu answered very nicely. Okay, the God can create a stone which he cannot lift, and when he wants to lift, he will lift it also. Right? That is the power of the inconceivability of the strength of the Lord. Right? So we should not ask such kind of crooked questions, right? That means we are thinking that we are defeating the speaker. We are asking such a intelligent question, right? That is our foolishness, right? So we should ask questions that will enable us to improve in our path of bhakti, in the way we need to perform our bhakti. Such kind of questions we need to ask in a humble state of mind, with a humble attitude, with respect, right? When we do service and when we humbly inquire from bona fide spiritual master, the spiritual master can reveal the transcendental knowledge in our heart, right? That's what the verse says. Pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Upadekshanti, the spiritual master will give the transcendental knowledge in the heart of the disciple who's inclined to ask spiritual questions with a humble attitude and is also rendering service. Such a person will receive the transcendental knowledge from a bona fide spiritual master, right? So this is a qualification of a disciple. All right, let's move ahead. Next verse, text number 1.2.33. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, Anita Ramaya Mataji, go ahead. 1.2.33.
Hare Krishna. असो गुणमयैर्भावैर्भूतसूक्ष्मेन्द्रियात्मभिः स्वनिर्मितेषु निर्विष्टो भुङ्क्ते भूतेषु तद्गुणान्. Synonyms: असौ, that that Paramatma Gunamayahi, influenced by the modes of nature, Bhavehi, naturally, Bhuta created, Sukshma, subtle, Indriya senses, Atmabihi, by the living beings, Swanirmiteshu, in his own creation, Nirvishtaha, entering, Bhunkte, causes to enjoy, Bhuteshu, in the living entities, Tat Gunan, those modes of nature. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The super soul enters into the bodies of the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes by the subtle mind. Purport. There are 84 lakh species of living beings, beginning from the highest intellectual being Brahma down to the insignificant ant, and all of them are enjoying the material world according to the desires of the subtle mind and gross material body. The gross material body is based on the conditions of the subtle mind, and the senses are created according to the desire of the living being. The Lord as Paramatma helps the living being to get material happiness because the living being is helpless in all respects in obtaining what he desires. He proposes and Lord disposes. In another sense, the living beings are parts and parcels of the Lord. They are therefore one with the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living beings in all the varieties of bodies have been claimed by the Lord as his sons. The sufferings and enjoyments of the sons are indirectly the sufferings and enjoyments of the father. Still, the father is not in any way affected directly by the suffering and enjoyment of the son. He is so kind that he constantly remains with the living being as Paramatma and always tries to convert the living being towards the real happiness. Hare Krishna.
So yeah, we spoke about the 8.4 million species, right? Sometimes as, Jalada Navalakshani, Stavara Lakshavimshati, right? Jalada Navalakshani, sometimes as aquatics, Stavara, like plants, right? Lakshavimshati. And then, these are the counts, right? Navalakshani means 9 lakhs, right? Like that, different counts are given to different species, right? Finally, 4 lakh species of human form of life, right? Until we are in the various other 8 million species, what is it that we don't have the intelligence to inquire and go back home, back to Godhead, to inquire and attain Krishna Prema, right? But the Lord is so merciful. Why does the Lord incarnate again and again? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyam paritranaya sadunam vinashaya chadushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In every yuga and yuga after yuga, why is Krishna appearing? Krishna is appearing as Krishna himself. Krishna is appearing as, yesterday we were celebrating the Tirubhav Tithi of Jayadev Goswami, right? He's written the Dashavatara Stotra, right? Sometimes appearance Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Sri Rama, Balarama, Buddha, Kalki, right? In this way, why does the Lord take so many forms of incarnations, right? To establish the principles of religion and to also to prevent or to extinguish irreligiousness, and also paritranaya sadhunam, right? That is most important. Most important is the Lord comes to relish and to give pleasure to his devotees, right? Prabhupada explains in one lecture that in the conversation between Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu asks Prahlad, is your Lord within this pillar? And Prahlad Maharaj says yes, right? Because Prahlad Maharaj already sees within the pillar that Nrsimhadev in his form is ready to come out, right? Because Prahlad told yes, right? Nrsimhadev came out of that pillar. Otherwise, the common people who don't have faith in the Lord, who are not pure devotees of the Lord, if they say, they say that let the Lord come and show himself to me, only then I will believe him. The Lord says, get lost. You don't want to believe me, you go and get yourself drowned in the material world, right? You suffer and enjoy according to your karmic reactions. You'll be going around the cycle of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, right? The Lord is not, Prabhupada says, the Lord is not your father's servant, that he will act according to how you desire. You need to qualify yourself that the Lord wants to see you. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, don't work in a way that you want to see the Lord. If you want to see the Lord, it may take millions of lifetimes. But if you work in such a way, follow the instructions of our gurus and work in such a way that the Lord wants to see us, then it is immediately possible, right? Prabhupada also gives an example in an organization, right? Where there is a new, a new sales employee who's joined the organization. He so much wants to meet the CEO of the company. Then what does he do? He requests the secretary of the CEO. I want to meet the CEO, right? I want to draw inspiration from the CEO. I want to meet him. And what does the secretary say? The CEO's schedule for the next 1 year is booked, right? I can give an appointment, but that can be only next year. That's what the secretary tells this employee. And this employee is like, okay, fine, no problem. Let me do my work, right? My boss, my immediate supervisor has given me the what I have to do, my tasks, what I have to do. Okay, let me do my work very nicely. So he performs duty very nicely. And what does he do? He gets the maximum sales for the company. In the first quarter of his joining the company, he is turned around the maximum sales for the company. The company is going into profits. What is happening? At the end of the quarter, he gets a call from the same secretary who told that the CEO is very busy and cannot meet him till the end of the next year. Right? He gets a call from the same secretary who tells him, oh, so and so, oh, Mr. X, right? You are the CEO wants to meet you. What time are you free? The CEO wants to meet you. Are you free tomorrow? Are you free on Saturday this week? The CEO wants to meet you. And this man is baffled. The CEO is busy till the end of the next year. What happened? What changed the equation? The equation changed because the person worked in such a way that he's pleased the CEO. And the CEO is willing to alter his schedules to meet the employee. So like that, we are also employed in the service of the Lord. If we work in such a way that we please the Lord, when we are humble, when we are tolerant, when we are humble, when we offer all respect to others, and when we don't expect any respect for ourselves, in this way, when we do Kirtaniya Sadahari, when we eternally engage in the service of the Lord, then our Guru is pleased, first and foremost. We cannot please Krishna directly. That's something we need to understand. Or directly please Krishna. No. First and foremost, our Guru is pleased. Why? Because the Guru sees, right, that we are following his instructions. When Guru is pleased, Prabhupada is pleased, then all of our Vaishnava Acharyas, right? Today is Lochan Das Thakur Tirobhavtidi also. Lochan Das Thakur is pleased, and all the Acharyas in our Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava, Guru Parampara, they are pleased. And then Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna is pleased. And when they are pleased with our endeavors to please them, then what happens? They will immediately come and see us, right? There can be so many obstacles for us to go and see the Prime Minister or the CEO, just like this employee. But when the CEO wants to see us, who can stop the CEO? When Krishna wants to see us, being pleased with us, who can stop us? Like that. All right, so let's move ahead. Text number 34. I think this is the last verse of this chapter. Let's quickly complete this for today. Text number 34 of chapter 2 of Canto 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Let me share my screen. In the last verse of this chapter. Who's reading? Okay, Leela Nandini Mataji, go ahead. Mataji, and you are able to unmute yourself, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. So what is happening? Okay, just a minute, Mataji. Okay, text number 34. Bhavayadi esha satvena lokan vai loka bhavana leelavadana rudho deva tiriya naradishu. Synonyms: Bhavayati maintains, Esha all this, Satvena in the mode of goodness, Lokan all over the universe, Vai generally, Loka Bhavana the master of all universe, Leela past tense, Avatara incarnation, Anuradha assuming the role, Deva the demigods, Tiryak lower animals, Nara Adishu in the midst of human beings. Translation and purport by Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is the Lord of the universes, maintains all planets inhabited by demigods, men and lower animals. Assuming the roles of incarnations, he performs pastimes to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. But there are innumerable material universes, and in each and every universe, there are innumerable planets inhabited by different grades of living entities, different modes of nature. The Lord Vishnu incarnates himself in each and every one of them, and in each and every type of living society. He manifests his transcendental past amongst them just to create the desire to go back to Godhead. The Lord does not change his original transcendental position, but he appears to be differently manifested according to the particular time, circumstances, and society. Sometimes he incarnates himself.
Do the last paragraph. You raise your hand. Okay, Karpavali Mataji, go ahead. You like to read?
Mataji.
Sometimes.
Yes,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Yes,
Super.
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Sometimes he incarnates himself or empowers a suitable living being to act for him. But in either case, the purpose is the same. The Lord wants a living being to go back home, back to Godhead. The happiness which the living beings are hankering for is not to be found within any corner of the innumerable universes and material planets. The eternal happiness which the living being wants is obtainable in the kingdom of God. But the forgetful living beings under the influence of material modes have no information of the kingdom of God. The Lord therefore comes to propagate the message of the kingdom of message of the kingdom of God, either personally or as incarnation or through his bona fide representative as the good son of God. Such incarnations or sons of God are not making propaganda for going back to God only within the human society. Work is also going on in all types of societies amongst demigods and those on other human beings. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the first canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Divinity and Divine Service. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Randatnam.
Shliranandani Mataji as well as our Karpaguli Mataji. Thank you so much. So this is, Prabhupada himself is said to be the Shakti Vesh avatar, right? Without having the divine potency from the Supreme Personality of God, it is not possible for somebody to go with 40 rupees and and create this revolution, isn't it? The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He traveled around the world in the last 14 years. He traveled around the globe and he created 108 temples, and he brought those wonderful white elephants who are our acharyas, right? The message of Krishna consciousness even today. So like that, there are various incarnations of the Lord, like Nardamni is said to be the Bhakti Shakti of the Lord, right? Whomever Nardamni meets, he gives Bhakti, whether it is Dhruv Maharaj, whether it is Dhruv Maharaj who is very passionate, whether it is Prahlad Maharaj who is already in Sattvic mode, or whether it is even the Mrigari, the hunter, right, who is in complete tamasic mode. Whoever meets, has a fortune to meet any of these Shaktivesh avatars of the Lord, or any avatars of the Lord, then automatically they are brought into the process of bhakti, right? So in this way, some or the other, Brahmande Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. Some or the other, right? We've all come into this process of bhakti, right? So it is our duty to water, right? The watering process is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we water the seed very nicely and also give it the adequate sunlight, the proper, maintain the proper fertility of the soil, etc. By hearing Bhagavatam, by associating with devotees, by studying Bhagavatam, by chanting Hare Krishna Mantra, by engaging in daily worship, by engaging in devotional service. In this way, we protect our Bhakti Lata Bija, right? We protect our Bhakti Lata. The Bija is slowly becoming a Bhakti Lata. That means it's becoming a Bhakti creeper. And that Bhakti creeper has to grow in the association of devotees. Why is it as a creeper? It's not independent like a tree. We always need the association of devotees. That's why it's said to be a creeper. Right? A creeper always goes around trees and then that way it grows. Right? Our Bhakti Lata should grow, cross the Mahatattva and ultimately reach the lotus feet of Shri Radha Krishna. Right? Gauranga Mahaprabhu and take shelter and then bear the fruits of Krishna Prema. So until then and beyond that also, we have to continue to engage in always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. That's what is mentioned. Krishne Mati Rastu. Right? His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj always blesses us. Krishne Mati Rastu. This is the best benediction that we can ever get. Right? If you're able to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, then, yesterday we were discussing, right? Varadaraji Perumal promised to Kanchi Purna that if my devotee always remembers me when he is healthy, I will remember he or she. I will remember him or her. I will ensure that he or she remembers me at the time of death. Does not matter whether the particular devotee is in coma or met with an accident or whatever else happened to him. Does not matter. The Lord will ensure that the devotee remembers him at the time of death. On that note, let's end our Srimad Bhagavatam session right now. Thank you very much for staying till the end of the session. So now we'll do Harinam Sankirtan. Request devotees to switch on your cameras. We'd love to have your nice darshan and we will end the session. Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasatyadishadarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jai Jai Jagannath Jai Jai Baladev Jai Jai Subhadra Jai Jai Sudarshan Jai Bala Gopal Jai Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Sham Sundar Jai Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Sri Radhe Jaya Sadgoswami Jai Guru Parampara Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय कलियुग पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र जपा यज्ञ की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमनंदे हरि हरि बोल His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Srila Guru Maharaj has given us this Pancha Tattva challenge from February 2nd to February 10th, culminating with Nityananda Trayodashi. It is very, very easy. Sitting in the comforts of our home, we have to hear and then we have to report. And then we will get a certificate signed by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Srila Guru Maharaj. I would sincerely urge all the devotees. I posted the details in the Medhavini group. We also have to simply register in that link and then perform the activities. Right? Hearing from His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj, Kavichandra Swami Maharaj, like that. And then we can also do online Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, like that. Many activities are there. Very wonderful. Being at home, it's not for those of us, it's not possible to go to the Dham, Mayapur Navadvip Dham. It's auspicious. Nityananda Trayodashi, then Gaura Purnima. It's very auspicious to be in Mayapur Dham, but what happens? What to do? Our Swadharma is not allowing us, right? To be in the Dham. But we can do Navadvip Mandal Parikrama thanks to Guru Maharaj. We can do it from the comforts of our home, isn't it? So such a wonderful opportunity Guru Maharaj is giving us. I'd request everyone to please register and then perform those activities and then make our Nityananda Trayodashi, Gaura Purnima very, very successful by pleasing the Lord, by pleasing Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, dear devotees. I'm able to see Shobha Mataji, our dear Leelanandari Mataji, our Chitra Krishna Sevini Mataji. Nice to see you. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Harjeet Mataji, Kripamai Sita Devi Dasi Mataji, Anita Ramaya Mataji, our Nagavani Mataji, Archana Mataji, Hema Mataji, Anuradha Leela Mataji, Manasi Mataji, Anusha Mataji. Thank you all very much for joining in. Panchakalpadrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namah Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Jagadguru, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you, devotees. Coming Saturday is Ekadashi, so please block your calendars, 1 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. We will study the Ekadashi Mahatmya. And then we will continue with our study of Bhagavad Gita, and then we will do the next 2 verses that we're memorizing, right? So this week we're memorizing 1.2.11. Next Monday, Chitra Krishna Sevini Mataji will be explaining 1.2.11. So join us Monday, Tuesday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. for Srimad Bhagavatam study session, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, tomorrow onwards, the next rest of this week, we will do Krishna book study session. Do join us from 1 to 2 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Thank you very much.